Hi everyone, we are here with NDP leadership candidate Dana Larsen, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about why he's running and give you guys a better idea of who he is and why you should vote for him. Hi Dana.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. We really appreciate this. I thought we'd get right into it and let you tell me and tell everyone out there why you're running for the NDP leadership.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, I'm running because I think I offer a fresh vision and a real alternative, both for the people who are in the NDP and for the citizens of our province. I've got a lot of great ideas that I'm bringing forward. I've got a lot of political experience, and I believe I'm the person to lead the NDP to victory in the next election.
Fantastic. I mean, something that people might question is you've never been in the legislature, you've never, worked in City Hall or the Park Board or won anything in terms of, in that political realm, and I guess people might wonder what qualifies you to be the leader of the NDP.
Well, it's true I'm not a career politician, but I think that's probably a good thing. But I've certainly had a great deal of experience in community organizing, in bringing people together around important issues. I do have a lot of political experience. I was the leader of the BC Marijuana Party, and I helped found that party as well. I've worked politically within the NDP for 7 years. I've traveled all across this country meeting my fellow New Democrats. I've been to I think 20 NDP conventions now. I'm very familiar with the membership of our party, with what the people of our party are looking for in a leader, and I think I can offer that to them. I've said I've got a lot of experience politically. I think I know what I'm doing and where I'm coming from, and I think that the people of this province would like to see a fresh alternative and somebody who's not just a career politician, but somebody who comes from the grassroots.
Okay, I mean, we talk about not being a career politician, although you've spent a good chunk of your career in politics. So essentially, people who do wonder whether or not you should have been or you should have already won something before you take on such a huge job, for you, it doesn't work that way. It's just a matter of you've done this and you've worked within the party, so.
I think for anybody who becomes premier, that's their first time becoming premier usually, and so it's something that you learn as you go along, but I'm smart, I'm capable, I have experience, and I think I can do this job very well if given the chance.
Okay. Something that we talked about before the camera is you called yourself the underdog, and a lot of people have sort of not given you much of a chance. Someone like David Schreck, said that you have zero chance of winning this, and I guess what I'm wondering is, what do you think your chances are of winning?
Well, we're signing up a lot of new people every single day. I meet people all the time who tell me they're very excited about my candidacy and they want to get involved and help out. So we'll have to let the members of the BC NDP decide. I think it's going to be a very long campaign. We've got until mid-April to make our decision. I think it's very premature for anybody to be counting anybody out of the race at this time. And I really think that when the members of the NDP get to know me better, they're going to see that I'm a real alternative and I'm going to win a lot of them over.
Great. Everyone knows that Tommy Chung was one of the people who's endorsed you so far,
yes.
And Mark Emery has come out and same with Jody, and they've said as friends of yours that they support you. Now, we haven't really heard much from anyone in the NDP camp. Have you yourself spoken to anyone in there? And again, it goes back to a lot of the things that people read where it doesn't seem like there's a lot of support, and it kind of seems like you're the one candidate that gets thrown under the bus a lot for, whether it was the video that came out or whatnot. How have you been received personally with the different members of the party? Well,
I know a number of the MLAs on a personal level, and I met with quite a few of them, both present and former MLAs, before I decided to launch my campaign. And I've had a great deal of positive response from many of the MLAs, both current and former. And I have had some challenges. I know Mo Sahoda's kind of dissed my candidacy a little bit and implied that I'm not really an NDP member or something like that, which is very odd since I've been very active in this party for 7 years. I'm not sure how he could make that mistake. But if I'm challenging the mainstream of the NDP a little bit, that's probably a good thing. I think the party needs some shaking up, and I need some changes in the party and how it's run. And I think I'm the person to help do that. And I think coming in a little bit from the outside, it gives me a fresh perspective and will allow me to help make the changes in our party that we need to be successful going forward.
Okay. One of the things that you just brought up, Mo, and one of the things that's come up recently is this whole talk about the gender essentially requirements
yes.
that the NDP has. And so far it's only been, seems to be the boys club that sort of put their hat in the ring for this. I'm wondering what you think about this rule and whether you think that it's important to have these certain gender requirements so that, in this case, if one of you guys does win the leadership, there would have to be a little bit of a shakeup.
Yeah, the gender requirements are that there must be both genders in the positions of treasurer, president, and leader.
Yeah.
And our president and our treasurer are both men right now. So if we elect a male leader, then there'll probably have to be a change in one of those two positions. Likely Mo Sahota will step down and let one of the female vice presidents take his place. We also have rules like that within the party around candidates' nominations, and certain candidates have to be female in certain areas and things like that. I support gender equality, and I support encouraging women and everybody to get involved in the NDP. I think sometimes we go a bit too far, though, on those requirements, and we can maybe roll some of that stuff back a little bit. I think ultimately getting people involved in your party is less about quotas and more about creating a party that everyone can feel involved in, that everyone can participate in, that all voices have a chance to be heard and shared equally. To me, that's more important than setting specific quotas or targets for how many women or how many men or how many people of different colors or whatever those things are. To me, that's ultimately not the long-term solution for dealing with those kind of equality issues within the party.
Okay, now let's say, end of all this, you are not elected. Do you consider throwing your support to any of the other candidates or any of the other, NDP?
Well, it's a proportional, it's a preferential ballot, which means you get to vote, like you get to rate your choices 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if nobody gets more than half of the number 1 votes, whoever got the least number 1 votes gets dropped, and someone else, your votes go to your second choice. So I think everybody will be saying, well, vote for me as number 1 and then vote for this person as number 2. But it's far too early in the campaign for me to be endorsing anybody else or making any other comments. We've only got 2 other people in the race right now, and there's a few others I think coming on board in the next few days. There's 3 now. Okay, what happened this morning, right? Yeah, okay, so we got 3 other competitors. So that'll be the kind of decision to be made in late April after we've had some time to see what everyone says and how we go on the campaign trail. But yeah, I expect to tell my supporters to support me as number 1 and to support somebody else as number 2. And if I can help somebody else who's got similar ideas and a progressive vision for the party to get elected, then that's a good thing.
So it's fair to say that if you were to support someone else, they would have to hold your views on when it comes to something like end prohibition.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I would encourage my supporters to support somebody as their second choice who mirrors some of the things that I'm bringing forward. And that's I think, how it'll work for any of the candidates.
So take someone like a Mike Farnworth, who has, come out for higher penalties and has, encouraged the Grow Up bus. Would you ever throw your support for someone like that in the NDP leadership race? Well,
Mike and I have some differences, I think, when it comes to how best to deal with criminal justice and with crime issues. I prefer to say we should be smart on crime rather than just throwing the book at people and going for longer jail sentences. But we'll see what Mike has to say during this campaign and how things go over the next 3 months. I do thank Mike for coming onto CKNW and other media and saying that I have the right to run as a candidate, which shouldn't even be questioned in my opinion, but I'm glad that he's coming out and saying that. And we'll just have to see how things go. There'll be a lot of time over the next 3 months for us all to get to know each other and push these issues back and forth. And